After lunch, Deputy Moses brings a light-skinned black woman into the room. She's wearing a white coat over a green dress, and her hair is in tiny braids. Dr. Graves, she introduces herself, one of the psychiatrists. She doesn't say, "You're a psychiatrist." That would imply some kind of relationship. No, she's one of the psychiatrists. So if there are complaints or problems, don't come to her. Something about her seems familiar, like she's someone I might have known. I look at her closely and see a younger face, long straightened hair. See her sitting in a staff meeting, taking notes and tapping her foot. No, it can't be. She can't be. Her name was Dr. Givens then. She was a first-year resident when I was at the VA. All these years, and it's finally happened. Found out, discovered, exposed. I thought it was past caring. I thought it was past pride and shame. I thought I was Mother Mary. I put my hands over my face. I don't want her to see me, recognize me, to say my name. I thought I wouldn't care. "How are you feeling, Miss Motter?" she asks with the voice of a stranger. Of course she doesn't recognize me. How could she? I've become an old woman, tired and worn, one of life's vagrants, one of the hopeless, invisible to the world. The meds are too strong, I tell her. I don't need them. "How long have you been bipolar?" she asks. "I'm not." "How long have you been manic-depressive, had mood swings?" Like I'm too ignorant to know what bipolar is or to know that I'm not. When I explain about the Cisco and the joint, she shakes her head. "I'm keeping you on mood stabilizers as long as you're here. When you get to the jail, it'll be voluntary." "Jail? I'm going to jail?" I ask. "Of course," she says, shaking her head. "I don't remember doing anything." Dr. Givens Graves looks up from her papers and stares at me. Her eyes get wide, and she almost smiles. We never had too much contact, never went for lunch or a drink, just morning meetings and a therapy group we co-led. She was at the VA for a 6-month rotation. If she recognized me, would she help? Would I become a person worthy of consideration, despite appearances to the contrary? I'm desperate and afraid enough to swallow my pride, to throw myself on the ground and beg for mercy. "I used to work at the Palo Alto VA," I say. Her eyes narrow. She nods and looks at her BlackBerry. "Let the nurse know if there are problems with the medications. Most likely she won't be here long," she says to Deputy Moses. "Good deal," he says. "This babysitting sucks." I sink to the bed and shut out the world. "No, Deputy Moses and Dr. Givens Graves, you suck. When I was a social worker, I was never so cruel. Even if I was fired from Concord Hospital, it was a patient's word against mine. I never threatened her. I would never hurt anyone. What happened to me? What happened? I remember driving with Manny on Highway 80, getting off the freeway. The small town. "You wait here," he said. "Won't take long," he said. Some kind of business, some kind of drug business, some kind of illegal business. His business. Is that why I'm here? The woman who gave me money. The Cisco. The thirst. Looking for water. Finding the joint. Starting to feel strange. I can't remember. Deputy Moses leaves and is replaced by an older deputy with a red face. "I'm right outside your door, so don't try anything," he says. What could I try? Doesn't he realize I'm chained to the bed, half naked and drugged to stupidity? A new nurse comes. "Afternoon meds," she says. I don't argue. Resistance is futile, the Borg said on Star Trek. I could be a Borg now, part machine and part woman. More machine than not. When I ask to use the bathroom, the new nurse gets the new deputy. He unfastens a chain and doesn't attach it to the cuffs. When I'm done, he attaches the left ankle cuff to the bed and removes the right. "Don't need this," he says. "Youngsters always overdo." For a minute, I think he's talking to me like a person. But then I see a man in a Navy sport coat behind him. "Need anything, Detective?" the deputy asks before leaving the room. My stomach sinks to my feet. The moment of truth, the moment of blame, of shame, has come. The detective pulls a chair to the side of the bed and sits down. He's the first person who doesn't seem either disgusted or afraid of me. He smiles politely and nods his head. He has a cop's mustache and clipped hair. He's old enough to know the ropes, but too young for a short-timer. "Detective Davis," he introduces himself. I want to trust him, but no, I can't. "Want to tell me what happened?" he asks. When I say I don't remember, he looks skeptical. "The truth," I tell him. "The afternoon meds are getting to me. Either they're stronger or the effect's cumulative. Now there's a word I'm surprised to remember." "What's cumulative?" Detective Davis asks. Thinking out loud, trying to think, I mumble. I feel myself slipping away, becoming lost, becoming Mother Mary. "Didn't do not a thing." "Well, let's try this a little different then. How about I tell you just what you did, and then you tell me what the hell you were thinking, assuming you're still capable of thinking." I listen and try to concentrate. He says I'm charged under PC 187, unlawful killing of a human being, charged with murder, the murder of an infant baby, caught at the scene burying the baby to conceal my crime, the baby abandoned, the dead baby, the baby I found, the baby I buried, the baby I saved, gave away, the baby. The baby. My head flares, my body thrashes. I have to break loose to free myself. "No, no, no," I cry in a metallic voice that isn't mine. "I'd kill you before a baby." The detective backs away. "Don't know what happened, nurse," he says. "Seemed like she was okay, just going over her charges, and she went off like this." "Mary, can you hear me? This is the nurse." Meaty, sweaty, calloused hands grab my wrists and cuff them to the bed rails. They chain my ankles. I'm four-pointed like a lunatic in Bedlam. "The doctor ordered IM Haldol for you. Just a little prick and you'll go straight to dreamland." The baby. The baby. The baby I gave up and gave away. The only baby. "She'll be out for a while, Detective." "No problem. I can see her in the jail, assuming it won't be that long." "No, Dr. Graves was going to clear her for tomorrow, but with this little setback, well, I guess she can be crazy in the jail just as well as here. Let the nurses there deal with her." "If I was a bird, what kind would I be?" "A jailbird. A jailbird. A jailbird. If I could be any bird I wanted, I'd be a mockingbird."